Okay, we're back. So now I can see you.
Oh my God, it finally worked.
Yes.
Oh
See,
wow. We have to do it that way next time.
exactly. That's why I'm like, sis, I can't see you in the back. Like, there's
That was
nothing
really
showing
weird.
up.
That was really weird. But I'm glad we finally made it because this has been a long time coming where we finally had a conversation on YouTube, and I'm so grateful it's with you finally. Did you get a
Exactly.
chance to text Chocolate?
I did. I did text her, but she didn't text me back yet. So I
Okay,
don't
well,
know.
I'll just freestyle it real quick,
Let me say hi to the chat first.
okay.
I see my sister Poetic Kels, the beautiful Poetic Kels. Hello, sis. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. Everybody, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button on your way in or on your way out. It's appreciated. I thank you very much. Okay, so anyway, so y'all, I have my sister here for Black Righteous Folks Home, and she's here today to talk to you guys of what's going on in Africa, and we're going to talk about some other things because it's been a while since us sisters really communicated, and we waited for Chocolate, so I hope she shows up too. So then it'll be all three sisters up here, chopping it up again.
Yeah, it'd be
So
awesome.
exactly. So introduce yourself, Sister Four Black, and tell everybody your channel, and you
Okay.
can. I'm giving you the floor.
Well, this is for Black Righteous Folks Home, but since people have a hard time saying it, I just go by For Black to make it easier. But if you want to subscribe to me, I would really appreciate that because I'm trying to be one of the ones that's trying to change the mindset of those that are just want to be about fuckery on YouTube. We have a lot of things going on against Black Americans right now. We're being at an all-time high, in my opinion, targeted for a lot of different sabotage and also scapegoating campaigns going on social media. And I don't want to contribute to being reckless like that. I mean, I've had my share of being silly or crazy sometimes and all that, drunk or high or whatever. But I try to stay consistent on a message that I noticed when I came to YouTube. Again, when I came to YouTube in 2018, it was because I broke an ankle, and I would never ever have been on YouTube if that never happened. It just might have been a curse and a blessing at the same time because I was stranded in the bed for 4 to 5 months. I wasn't really able to get around. It was hard healing and all that kind of thing. And so that's what brought me to YouTube was my first discovery. And I began just surfing about, kind of curious of what I was seeing. But the main thing that I was noticing on social media was a constant ridicule about who Black Americans' identity was and the persistent talk about Pan-Africanism and that you're African and you need to come to Africa. And I just found that really annoying to me because I was just like, we have a lot of other things going on in the world. Why is all this conversation in Black spaces seemingly focused primarily on that topic, those three? And so that pegged my interest to really kind of look around to see what Pan African was about because I wasn't really aware of what that really was. I heard of Marcus Garvey before, kind of, but I really didn't care about it because I never thought about Africa before. I never dreamed of going there. I never tripped off of, ancestors of old and going to look at dungeons and whatnot. That kind of stuff to me would make me angry. So I just found it bizarre that that seemed to be how people were relating all the time. And then I started noticing debates, people arguing about religion all the time, or they were beefing all the time. Various content creators were beefing, and these people don't know one another. They don't live most of the time in the same city, and they would have so much passion and seemingly like it was really about the beef. And I just was like, are these people like in a trance or something? What is really going on? So that drew me to like really investigate. I would say the first 6 months that I came on while I was in the bed, and I began writing my poetry and whatnot to kind of keep me busy. And then that's when I ended up on Dagger Squad and Mike Larry, I want to say, and I think one other. I read my poem, and that was my first thing that I did on my videos when I read a poem talking about the community, basically what I was witnessing on social media and what I witnessed, what was going on in America. Now, my name, the reason why I named myself For Black Righteous Folks Home, it had nothing to do with all Black people at the time. I was thinking in terms of Black Americans. Everything that I think on is my identity. And my identity has always been Black American. Before Jesse Jackson or whomever was involved with changing the name to African American, that's what I was known to be at the age of 16. And I never changed my mindset to be African American. So that's why I chose For Black, and I wanted to say righteous folks because I felt like there was too many people that was unrighteous on social media, that wasn't representing anything with good intention on social media, and they were just scrambling about and being reckless. And I wanted to represent something when I talked, or my videos would make sense eventually, to showcase that my intention is for us to be aware of what's happening to Black Americans. So when you say Black, though, now on social media, it's like it's a tug of war going on with Africans now trying to say that they're the Africans and that we need to like follow them, and that they're, the guard of the Blackness. And, my recollection, I'm 50 years old, showed me that no African that I've ever met has called themselves Black before until on social media. They always, referred to their tribe or their land, where they came from, and this and that and the other. They never liked to be called Black, as far as I remember, in college or high school, whenever I met them. So it was very fascinating to see this trend where now Pan-Africanism has come and came about, seemingly to leech upon the Blackness to attach themselves to us. And I found that that was problematic because it seems to be everything that's going on wrong in the world seems to find its way back to Black Americans, whether it be our culture, whether it be hip hop, whether it be ghetto-ness, fatherless, homes, baby mama drama, crime, this and that and the other. You name it, it all comes back to our culture and us. Meanwhile, if you research Africa, as I started doing alongside as Pan-African and studying the YouTube, you would see that Africa is 10 times worse than what we could ever have going on here. But yet, we're always the ones that's focused on. And that really got me to thinking about, you know, why? Why is this? Why is everything centering around Black Americans so much? So that's when I started really looking into Pan-African spaces, studying different platforms, and like I said, I started looking into Africa, and I started seeing a common trend with them, which is that they were in dire straits as far as financial woes of borrowing so much money from all these globalists, and they were starting to tell on themselves about how bad it was and how they were trying to cry out to us, like we were Jesus and stuff like that. And I started putting two and two together. They want our money, they want us to be involved with their so-called economy. But again, that's a problem I have, because they never have been unified among themselves. They have corrupt leaders everywhere there in Africa. The Africans are fleeing to get away from the corrupt leaders to come here to America. And the biggest hustle that's ever been told on social media is the Africans are convincing us to become them and they're coming to America to become us. Now, we could talk about Tariq Nasheed. We could talk about Yvette Carnell, which I believe both of them are hustling all of us. But when I think about the mind fuck of the Africans replacing us and making us believe that we need to be them, and how problematic that is, and we're basically telling the world that, or Pan-Africans are telling the world that we don't really belong here in America. We're really supposed to go to Africa, where all the devastating things are going on in Africa. And I was just like, have these people bumped their heads? What is going on with this picture? So, when I talked about on Uncle Suge's channel, like I met him, I think one of my first major times that I came on social media, I met him talking, going off on men about, I think it was Lex Vortex and uh, who was his name? Judah Nazareth, and somebody else had pissed me off at the time. So I went on a bit of a rant talking about how, perturbed these men were making me. And he heard my video and he contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do an interview and discuss it. And I came, of course, I came on and had my time with Uncle Suge, and we kind of like vibe, you, chocolate, him, and a couple of other people. And we were trying to do a sisterhood thing, and that of course didn't pan out right, because I felt, even though I think that Suge has great potential and very charismatic and captivating and all that, I just felt like staying stuck on beefs was not what I wanted to do for years, because I have too much input and discernment for me to be utilized or be stumped out with just beefing. When we have real serious problems in the here and now going on with us and how we're being targeted, I felt like I needed to bring those issues out so that we can see it and not have it hidden and not have it hushed. So that's the direction I decided to take. And that's where I'm at today. And that's what I've been doing since I've been on social media now very strongly, I would say since 2020. And I've discovered, as you may know from my videos, how I've discovered a past ambassador that used to work for the Washington, D.C. for the African Union, who was fired for fraud, and how now she has developed another scheme whereby she has a database where she's collecting and compiling people's information, claiming that they want to go back to Africa or contribute somehow to Africa. And there's a $500 million bond attached to this database that most people don't know about. And bonds needs to be paid back. That's money that a globalist gave this past ambassador, money in her pocket. And she's saying in all her videos that she feels like the so-called diaspora needs to pay this money back. And I have a problem with that, because in my mind, for people that don't hear out the gate, $500 million attached to the database, that's fraud. So
And
I've
that's
been,
and
huh?
that's very important for you to let the people know, because a lot of people don't know what they're getting into when it comes to that database.
Yeah, because what she's telling people is, Wakanda City in Ghana, you can contribute whatever you can afford. We just need you to be joining, pulling money together, this and that and the other. And some people might contribute $100 and think it's over. But they're inputting their information in that database, and it's safely secured there. And when this bond is unable to be paid back, and who has $500 million, is not going to be paid back quickly, because if it could be paid back quickly, Africa wouldn't be in debt right now. So she took that money knowing full well it was going to be a debt, and she's trying to apply that debt to us. And that's when I realized that I needed to be more proactive in my advocacy against people like this. So what I've done recently is, maybe a month ago, I've written to the Black Caucus, because Sheila Lee Jackson, or Sheila Jackson Lee, I always say her name backwards, but she's been in contact with this ambassador and this Ghanaian president, who televised 2 months ago how he wants to have a homeland return bill. He's trying to invite so-called African Americans to live in Ghana as a resident or become citizens there. And now they have a ploy where they have a new, brand new card called the Ghanaian card. And come this summer, whoever lands in Ghana thinking that they're going to stay there, tour there, simply tour there, you're going to have to give up all your vital information to even spend money there because you can't do it without it. They want your banking information. They want your name. They want where you were born. They want your parents' name. They want where your parents were born. They want every bit of information stored nice and nifty away in a database that is being controlled by other globalists, and it was designed by Danish people. And this is all on my videos, but somehow my videos have been what do you call it, shadow banned. They've been hidden, they've been a lot of times been blocked, barred, all these things. I've been having a lot of difficulty getting my likes up and things of that nature because many of us are still stuck on just the fuckery. And it's sad because this is 2022 and
Let
people
me
are coming for our jugular and people are not concerned about our future. But I'm trying to be a voice of reason to be like, this is probably the best time to start. So if you want to ask me any questions first, and then we'll take it from there.
No, I was going to say something. One thing that I did forget what I was going to say, but what I wanted to say to the people, do you not understand what's going on here? If you travel to Africa, they're asking you for certain information. They are trying to steal your identity. And then at one point, sis, remember we talked about how if you go to Africa, they're trying to make it where as though um, you're gonna have to stay there. There's no way in the world you're gonna be able to come back to America and America identify you as an American.
That's
You will
my
now
that's
be considered as an African still.
that's my position because there's an immigration service thing going on, and this Ghana card just was unveiled. I want to say, well, 2018 they just had it for the Ghanaians, but come 2019 when the year returned, they were still working out, tinkering out whatever they were working out with the globalists, and now it's been almost completed. And the only thing that they have left to do, what they're trying to do right now in Ghana, is add on this database or this card accessing a e-levy, a taxation, 1.75 taxation towards any electronical transaction. And the Ghanaians are going stir crazy about it because a lot of them are poor. They're not able to feed themselves day to day, and anything that they do over a threshold of so much money, I don't know exactly how much money, but if they're in business and they have so much money, they're paying somebody for the day, and they normally handle their businesses through this mobile phone. They use a special SIM card, but they also are now being forced to get this Ghanaian card too, so they're incorporating both. And they're trying to say that even if you as a tourist visit, they don't care. The only way that you're going to have access to anything to do once you touch down is that Ghana card. And a lot of people are going to be ambushed because it's going to happen right when you land at the airport come July 1st. And I thought that that was kind of an important thing to bring out now, beforehand, not wait too late where people are getting ambushed and they flew 17, 18 hours to get to Ghana, and then all of a sudden they took the chance. They got to get the jab, because that's one of the rules as well. But in addition to getting the jab, hey, you need to get this card or you can't access your money. Isn't that going to be kind of wouldn't that fuck up your day from traveling that long to hear these things?
Heck yeah, that's crazy. I can't imagine. I can't imagine that. Heck no. Wow.
Yeah, but with me learning all these types of things, people are not concerned about it because they figure, well, I'm concerned about Africa, and they figure Africa's not gonna, be able to fuck with them because they're Americans and this and that and the other. But Pan African talk, Jumbo, is trying to say that we're mentally ill or we have issues if we don't accept the motherland, we don't love ourselves. And you have Black Caucus trying to get this bill going on with Ghanaian president who is corrupt, with a current cousin who is the finance minister who emptied out 9 indigenous banks of Ghana between 2017 and 2020. 9 different banks from the indigenous people had their monies hijacked. And to show you how corrupt they are, they didn't fire this finance minister who's the cousin of this president. He's still the same financial minister. And he's the one that's talking about this Ghanaian card. And he's the one that is going to make it a law. And when that e-levy has been decided, are these so-called African Americans who simply visited, are they going to be forced to pay a taxation on top of everything else because your banking information is on that card? They're asking for your bank, your routing number, everything, so that they have all your shit.
I know that's right, Sister Fashionista. You will never see me there. I
But
don't
what I'm
think so.
saying is they've been kind of trying to brainwash us over and over again, talking to us about, oh, we need to pull money together, oh, we're one and the same, or we're family of old. All these. That's what I'm saying. It's been a propaganda going on. It's been what do you call it? A campaign going on social media since I've been on here, and I'm sure it's been on going on before I even got here. And they've been prepping our minds and spirits for the ones that are feeble minded, because many of these people have been making money off of just talking about unity every day, parroting, oh, we're all black skin, we all should get along, we're all brothers and sisters. And they're getting all these, backhanded background donations and stuff from who knows where, from whomever, that's propping these people up and letting them live a good life, and they really believe in this stuff, and they're coming at us as if we're the enemy because we don't feel that way. And I have a problem with people trying to determine my future just because you decided, you chose to have a mindset of Africanism or Pan-Africanism. No, God bless you, but I don't. Why are you faulting me from not changing? I have been the same all these years. I'm not changing because you decided. But people are coming together with the notion of trying to get politically together to try to force their ideas upon us. And that's what I'm seeing.
But
How
you know
else can.
what? You know what though? I'm sorry,
Mhm,
sis. What's
mhm,
crazy is, right, all of a sudden, right, we all gonna pack up and we're gonna go to Africa. We're gonna be a unity in
mhm,
Africa. But
mhm.
we can't be a unity here where we're actually born at. Do that make sense? Because that just don't make sense to me.
It's a facade. Like I said, that movie that came out, Black Panther, really had a lot of people messed up in the head. They were having a good time. Parties were popping off. I remember Lovely T had like a get together, and I think the Diaspora channel had something. All these people were talking about it, and then all of a sudden, Phil Scott went to Ethiopia. Remember that plane crash that happened, and how he tried to brush it underneath the rug about it because it was the Ethiopian plane that crashed. I want to say in 2019, and he was just like, "Don't be afraid to fly," because he had already been given, his cut off of trying to get us to tour to Africa. That's his agenda, to get us to go and visit. And that was the initial thing to lure us. Oh, just come see. Just come. It's not as bad as everybody on the news is making it. It's not as bad. We're more modernized. You can come here and get a feel for Africa. It's not that bad. But I knew in my spirit, since they never talked to us for all these years, that out the blue, all of a sudden you're concerned about us going to Africa just didn't add up to me. And like I said, when I started doing my research and understanding how much debt they have from China, I believe counting is like $200 billion that Africa has alone with China. That's not including IMF. That's not including the World Bank. That's not including private lenders. And people go say, well, America's in debt too. Well, yeah, we are, but we have 300 million people that's sharing this taxation debt. Africa is not managed at all, and they're corrupt as fuck, and they don't know how to pull their shit together to work together for a common goal. So they're more apt to fail because you have too many people that continually see dollar signs in their pocket. for themselves and their bloodlines and their tribe. And so talking to us about what we need to do and how we need to be when they're not being that way is ridiculous. So it's like, do as I'm pretending I am, but we will never be. It's like, get the
I'm
fuck out of
just
my
waiting to
face.
see everybody else that's talking about going back to Africa. When I see all of y'all that's talking this stuff, when y'all start packing up and majority of y'all over there, then maybe, just maybe I will follow suit just for the cause, right? Just
Hmm.
just to see. But you can't tell me who I am. I can only tell you who I am. I have
It,
to go by who my mom and her parents' parents say that who we are. And the only thing that I can see and go by is that I'm part white and Indian. That's
hmm
as far as I can go. I don't know nothing about Africa. Okay, I don't look like an African. I don't talk like an African. There's nothing about me that's African. We have to stop talking about just because we have that color, that brown skin color, that we are all,
the
from
same.
Africa.
Yeah, and even if I have like one relative that did come from Africa, that doesn't change the other relatives that did not. I do have, like you said, Indian, and I also seen a white guy that I need to confirm whether or not he's on my father's side. And that doesn't make me white. That doesn't make me all the way Indian. Or if I had an African, that doesn't make me all the way African. It just makes me multi-race, and that's what I claim. Like I can't go back thousands of years to tell you everything about my history because I'm not there and I'm not going to be silly to be like it's impossible. But I'm more than just from a boat. If I had one ancestor that came there, if you have an ancestor here that laid down with the African that created a great grandparent, I'm not anymore just that one thing. Because without the person that was here, I couldn't be created from my great grandparent had to pass down their genes, which consisted of other things, and it had to carry it forward to get to me. And I want to be mindful of all of me. I don't want people to parse out their mindset upon me because, like I said, Africans have this problem where they want what they have and they want what you got too. So this conversation about our identity, they know 500 years or more, it's impossible for us to just be one thing. That probability wise is impossible. But for them to say, oh, you're just hating on yourself if you don't accept it, that's a sham. That is nothing but propaganda. They have an agenda. And that agenda is that they want us to be a part of helping them pay back debts that they have acquired for the last, I don't know how many decades or centuries. But I don't think I should have to do with anything with that because I'm not African. I didn't flee from Africa. I don't have any relationship to Africans. I don't have cultural connections to Africans. And I'm on a whole nother spiritual realm. I don't want to associate with people that are partaking in juju or witchcraft or sacrificing or none of that. So I just rather just stay as I am for the purposes of my sanity. But we have, like I said, other people with other visions because of Marcus Garvey and other people that have been like Boule types that have come along, that we never really tripped off of or heard about. If you might have heard in passing that people have talked about that bring their names up as if we should care. And it's like, yeah, you talk to, state people, different countrymen of Africa, and that has nothing to do with my future. Just because when they had a conversation in '67, well, and that don't have nothing to do with what I'm deciding upon today. But
But
they
this
think
this is where I'm at with it though. I have no problem with people talking about going back to Africa or want to go back to Africa. My problem is the same one's been talking about going back to Africa. You've been talking that same song for 20 years. You're still talking, but yet you're still here in America. You ain't packed your bags and went nowhere yet. And there's gonna be another 20 years go by, and you're still talking about let's go back to Africa. So when is somebody gonna get the moving?
that's what I'm saying. And they're waiting for us. The great event is evolving around us. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've discovered. This big event is them thinking that it's okay to steal all rights and our choice and tell us we're African and that we must adhere to a new policy or a new mindset and look towards Africa. And it's like I think that we now need to get together and understand that's what it is. So I think this is probably a good time to play a little snippet of what I was talking about. Like I said, um, when I had heard about this President Ado trying to unveil this, it's called Homeland Return Bill that he's working with the Black Caucus 2 months ago. And it's supposed to be unveiled, I believe, probably the first week of March because that's their Independence Week for Ghana's 56-year Independence Week. And so I would imagine that's probably the best time for him to think that, oh, we're independent and we want to liberate the African Americans and invite you to be citizens here, da 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 da, like drums and shit in the background, thinking that's the best time to bring it out. So that these Ghanaians were online a couple of days ago talking about their immigration services. Like I said, they're posing as if this has to do with passport, this card, they're posing it as this is just a new system that they're bringing about. They're trying to socialize people that come and visit with their information, whether they know it or realize it. And like, in my opinion, it's going to de-Americanize you because they're saying that you're in process of immigration to Ghana. So I want you to hear what they started off. Let me find the good part of it. I don't need to have you hear about when this thing is going to start. I'll just play the part where they start talking about the immigration services actually. And I'm gonna go to my video because I kind of
My thing
know.
is, it just seems like once a lot of so-called quote unquote black African Americans get to Africa, we're going to be enslaved in
That's
Africa
what I
because
said.
we're not them.
We'll be on
We
the
don't know
lower.
of their culture or anything. So it's going to be easy for them to enslave us. So now we're
Exactly.
slave all over again? Yeah, I don't think so.
Exactly. That's what I told you was going to happen. I'm looking for it right now. I believe, right now, being an American, we're becoming number three. We were number two. Now we're number three. And pretty soon, with all this immigration stuff going on, we'll be number four. And that's a lot of our fault because we are buying into this Pan African mumbo jumbo talk, and we shouldn't. And it's silly for us to play ourselves out like that. But people just need to understand you're playing yourself. But many people are not going to get it because they're making money, like I said, on the side. And so they don't understand the repercussions of this coming back to bite you. And it's really sad time to really witness this kind of thing. I'm trying to find their video because my video, oh, here it is. Okay, let me find the time stamp for that. But yeah, this comes, if you want to look at it, it's her name is ODANA Network. Just to let y'all know, that's where it's coming from. And the timestamp that I'm going to start off at, we're going to start off at 32 minutes in, just so that you can hear it. Hold on, just got a commercial on. Can you hear it? Let me see if you can hear it. So,
I can hear it.
can they hear it? Ask them if they can hear it. Can you?
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on one second.
Okay, I'm gonna set this up so y'all can listen to a little bit, and when you want me to stop it, just let me know, and I'll pause it so we can have a discussion once you hear what you need to hear. But I'm gonna let it play for a little bit so that they can hear their discussion. And what you're gonna hear is how they're making it seem like this is a big event for immigration service coming up the first week of March for people that actually want to become citizens or permanent residences, and this Ghana card has to be utilized, and how they inched in later on to say, oh, by the way, if you're simply visiting, we need to tell you this. Starting July 1st, you too would have to get this Ghana card. And that was my moment of clarity that they're on some bullshit. So hold on. Tell me if it's loud enough.
Um, 6 time.
I can hear it.
Okay.
6 next year, coming home again. Kwame, where is what is going to be your 6th time coming to Ghana, or please clarify for me?
Or is it 6th time trying to relocate, or
Yeah, what is that? Please let us know.
we're just going through some of the comments and questions, and using this as a platform to respond to some of them.
Yeah, I know about that Oyerifa project that IE Mensa is developing. We will be going there. Don't you worry. I did cover the first project for IE Mensa, so I'll be definitely going to that one. Once they get to a certain stage, we will definitely be covering that. Next week, there will be one that I did in Tema, which it is really nice place. Is in community, I think 26, and we've managed to get a couple of diasporans to buy it as well. So I think the owner's calling it the diaspora village. But I think it might be a good location for. Oh, it's your 6th time coming to Ghana. Okay, nice. Are you planning on staying? Would you stay in Ghana? Let us know your thoughts on that. But yeah. Oh, you've purchased one. Oh, great. Yes, it's very, very nice. Even IE Mensa is a beautiful place. Honestly, I loved it. It's very cute. And they sold out pretty quickly, to be honest. So yeah, it's a very nice area. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So it's about they're just working their way in. Like I say, what we talk about, Eunice, before. I remember we talked about femininity, people that use their femininity, women, for luring people or influencing people, making you feel like they're real and that they're gentle and all these types of things, but really it's a trick.
Yes.
And they're using this type of tactic to talk all soft spoken and be all nonchalant about it. But I just want you to understand that's a discussion we need to have about how women uses this type of thing. They use women a lot of times to get underneath, guys, thinking about women and, free sex in Africa and all these types of things, just hearing their voice, peep their softness and how they're utilizing their voice.
So Kri, are you in Ghana now, or are you in the UK, US? Whereabouts are you based, and are you transitioning at all? Please do let me know.
Hi,
And I think also the central region is a really good place to invest. When you look at the tourist attractions across Ghana, number one, because obviously that's where majority of the slave castles. There's a lot of history in Cape Coast region, so I think it's a great opportunity there. I know that someone like Sape, who's a friend of ours and part of the Google team, he's got a cassava farm, a 1,000 acre in that's supplying large quantities of cassava. Ekonfi juice, which most of you may have heard of, again, is based in the central region. One of the loveliest pineapples that you can ever taste. And they're also doing mangoes and avocados and stuff. So I think there's a real opportunity for agriculture in the central region, real estate as well, because I think Accra is getting choked. And they're also planning on bringing an airport in the central region as well. So it'll be easy to commute there, and people that wanted to also live there. So I think it's opening up. And I think a lot of African Americans actually, living in Cape Coast, and it's obviously by.
And how many times you're going to hear African Americans? A lot more. Like I said, we're the ones that are being targeted. They're not talking about the Caribbeans. They're not talking about the Haitians. They're not talking about the other Africans that have fled and that could move to Ghana. No, they're specifically talking about so-called African Americans, us.
The beach, you're surrounded by beautiful beaches as well, so it is a good place to invest and think about. Yeah, Accra is definitely choked. choke. So I think, and you know, with the central region, you get nice fresh fishes, tilapias and everything, you know, prawns and all of that kind of nice stuff from that as well, from there as well. It was difficult to get around during the end. Oh my God, yeah. Christmas in December. Oh my God. I don't know if there's another word that's bigger than choked, but it was crazy. The traffic was crazy. Everything was crazy.
Prices were crazy as well. Uber.
What'd you say?
I said prices were crazy. Uber and Bolt and all of those.
Yeah, like the prices were high for Bolt, for Uber. Like, say the place that usually goes like 10 Ghana City was literally 30 Ghana City. So that was crazy. So I think local people really felt it when everybody from the whole world came to Ghana. But it was nice. I mean, it's nice to have a destination that everyone thinks is a beautiful place to go to and to party and to have fun and meet people, etc. Obviously, there's events like Africella, which a lot of people fly in for. So I guess people have real love for Ghana at the moment, especially when it comes to December. But if you are looking to live in Ghana, December is not a good place to come at that time. You definitely experience it once you do move here, but I think it's better to come during the quieter months and experience Ghana. Absolutely. Okay. So if anybody has any questions for us, would like to know more, or if there are questions that you think that we should ask the immigration service, please do let us know. We are open and we'll be very happy to hear from you.
Definitely. I think actually there's probably one question, and it'll be good if people can put comments on this. We've all had to engage with the immigration service in some way, shape, or form. So whether or not
we all have to engage. I want you guys to really hear this.
It's in UK or America or Holland or Japan or wherever you may be, we've all had to engage with the immigration service. My question out there to you all is, what one process do you find the most frustrating? What one process do you find effectively the most time consuming? What kind of things would you generally like immigration services to be able to do where it doesn't take such a long process? So it could be the process of just getting a visa, rather than having to fill out a form time and time again, rather than having to, provide information that they should have already had on file, whether it's getting a different types of visas. Maybe if we could just have one visa that deals with lots of other things. Again, with a passport, what kind of processes do you feel that the immigration services, possibly in general, should apply just to make that process of obtaining a passport easier? We all know that, passports now or currently have...
Oh, by the way, fair use of video for educational purposes. Before this video ends, I want to read out the whole thing so we can keep the video up. Just remind me, please.
Metrics. So it's, electronic, and it takes your vital signs effectively in order to create the book. But is there a process that you just really get frustrated with when it comes to the immigration service? Oh, okay, Kwame. You saw that one too. Yes, Kwame. Okay, so this is in Ghana in particular. When you get to the airport, so family, when you land in the airport in a car, they can be so disrespectful. Yes, I mean, I guess that's based on experiences, and sometimes you ask yourself if that's been your experience, why the need, or is there a certain process or certain thing or certain stage of the whole checking in, going through immigration, when you find that people become disrespectful. I guess that's something that, I mean, it's not nice and shouldn't be tolerated anywhere. So regardless. Okay. Kwame, when you land in a car, they look at your UK passport in a bizarre way. That's interesting. A lot of us have traveled from lots of different places, so some of us have dual citizenship and different types of passport. Angela Yeboah, I wanted to find out how long the Ghana card is valid for. Good question. Good question. I believe it's 10 years.
Let me check my card. Hold on. Let me see how many.
I personally think that they have people staged that's helping out this live and sneaking it in this Ghana card, because right after that, that's when they start talking about it more. But they're, like I said, tiptoeing around getting to talking about what it really means to people visiting. And I don't think it should have took that long. Like, just spit it out already.
Okay, hold on. Mine is 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah, I mean, Aquia is talking about service of any kind sucks in Ghana. Aquia, I agree, but I beg to differ in some instances. I have personally, and I know people around me have been through services that are really good. So I'm not saying it's, the umbrella for every single place, but I do understand what you're saying. There could always be improvement, and it's about trying to engage with that improvement and what needs to be improved. But yeah, if there's any particular areas of the whole immigration, of the whole process of acquiring a visa and getting your passport sorted, or the amount of evidence that you need to provide, sometimes I think in general, some of these things should be ingrained into one sort of system, so we don't have to keep repeating the same thing over and over. So we've got Aquia. I was able to apply and obtain a Ghana ID card. It took a while, had to go outside of a car. Yes, I mean, with the Ghana cards, they've actually opened up quite a few offices. I think just this week, they open up even more offices for people to be able to go and obtain the Ghana card. And it's an essential piece of ID that you do need. So it's probably best that you kind of go through whatever it is that you need to do in order to get it. It doesn't have to be such a long-winded process, just like Aquia is saying. Because she went outside of Accra, it was longer in her regards, but it doesn't always have to be a long process. If you know the information that you need to provide, if you are directed in the right way and engaged with the correct authorities. I was able to. Okay. Yeah, I mean, processes in Ghana generally can take a while, but again, I think a lot of that may also be to do with, not having the right information made available, so people can prepare with what they need to bring and provide as they come for things like the Ghana card or any other authority where they need to provide some amount of evidence or documents.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
From that moment you find out
Hold
you're
on for a
pregnant,
minute.
to that first time you hold your newborn baby, your child.
All of that for nothing. And all she's just doing is just kept repeating herself.
It's
Like this was just
not over. They're just working it in. They're about to talk about it, I think, in the next minute or two. But you see how they're trying to make it, small talk like it's not. No, before I even let it play, I'm going to read something real quick about this Ghana card, and then I'll replay it again. But they took a long time to get to this part. But it says to fill out the registration form, provide valid birth certificate, valid passport, valid certificate of acquired citizenship, or ID documents, cards, to help harmonization, passport, border card, etc. And like I said, it said July 1st that the Ghana card is the only usage that will be allowed to be able to get money from any banking system there in Ghana. And I thought that right there was the part that is going to catch a lot of people off guard, because a lot of people have their own banks accounts, in the United States, and so they don't expect to have any issue. And I don't think you can bring a whole lot of money on your flight. I don't think you can bring thousands upon thousands of dollars, or you might be risking having somebody take that from you or make you spend money unnecessarily or rob you. But let's listen.
Here for you. We are here for you. Yes, Angela, I hope that's answered your question. It's 10 years.
Yeah.
We can also help you get your Ghana card if you are, if you're unable to do that.
Yes.
With that,
I mean, I would advise anybody, if you haven't already got your Ghana card, please make sure you do it within the first few days of coming to Ghana. That's just to help the process of getting things done in Ghana, because the Ghana card, as you guys are probably aware, is becoming one of the main forms of ID. And I believe, is it January? I'm sorry, not January, July, when a lot of the institutions are going to rely on that as if you haven't got a Ghana card, you can't do things like that.
You can't get a SIM card. It's becoming like how we used to use our driving license for like many of our IDs. It's becoming an ID that you really need, whether you're Ghanaian or not. So there's non-citizenship ones, and there's the Ghana card as well. So either way, you have to get one of them to be able to do a lot of things in Ghana. Please be aware of that. Ghana, like now, I think is even more important than a Ghana passport because you really.
Oh, it's relatable. But yeah.
What did Kwame say?
So you need ID for
Ghana now.
Yes.
For Ghana, you need it. You can't run from it. Yes. You can't do anything without it. Oh my God, that was a rhyme. I think I just rhymed there.
Did you? Aquia is saying, do ladies driving Ghana?
They said you can't run from it, and that's exactly what they mean.
I do.
Yes, I haven't driven for a little while, but I used to drive in Ghana. You just have to. Aquia, don't be put off with all the craziness on the road at the time. You just do the right thing and just keep your eye out. But you have to. I mean, it just helps movement around.
And me, I drive like them. If they're trying to cross me, I'm trying to cross them. They will be.
So did you hear the part where she outright said, you're gonna need it? It's gonna be used like it as if it's an ID, like a driver's license. If you're driving around, like everything that you're gonna have to do in Ghana, as far as money, renting a car, getting a what do you call it, a hotel, Airbnb, anything that you need to get as far as retrieving something to get something, you have to have that card. And I believe that that's going to be used for ulterior motives other than just you being a tourist, because then you have all the information conveniently stored away in a database that is being overseen by other globalists for to do other things with your information for later. And your bank information is going to be asked to also be uploaded in that system. So if you go visit and assume when you come back to United States that that's the end of it, your information is still there. What if you're hacked? What if they have a so-called hacking situation? Your information is there. And what if you wake up and all your money's gone? Well, you have given all your information, and there's your information in that system. So to me, that's they're imposing themselves more and more and more to the point where they're trying to force people to have to do more than what they should as a tourist. And that's my point. They have a other agenda besides you just simply getting some goat with stew or whatever the hell curry, whatever, however they make it, and some foo. It's turned into a whole nother thing, a whole nother agenda that people are not going to understand because most people are not going to share this information. They're not going to know. These people are going to be so clueless. They're going to just assume the way it was the year that they won another time in 2019 is the same way it's going to be when they come this upcoming summer, and it's not. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I had a question. What would be the difference? Because no matter where you go, right, you're gonna have to have some type of information to identify yourself, correct? So
Well, we
what would
use
be the
we use a passport. We use our United States passport
right,
normally.
right?
Yeah,
But that's it. But what I'm saying is that's still information, right? So they have your name and everything. So if they wanted to use that, they still can hack you or whatever by just having even that passport, just your name.
but they don't have your banking information, and they don't know your parents' information and where you live and in your history situation.
Yeah, they don't. But just like people here, when they get our first and last name, we get what?
I'm
Right?
saying
They
the
look
most
us up
important
first.
thing that's weird to me is your banking information.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
I mean, that's more than weird because they can steal your shit and you can't do nothing about it. Or hacked or so-called it's been hacked. Do you know how many hacks I've been reading online about every day continuously? Either cryptocurrencies being hacked or people having mal software that's been hacked. Now even Russia is having issues with hacking all over the place. Ukraine and all these other things are continually coming up, telling about how easy it is for things to be hackable. And there your information is with everybody else's information. And if these people have already taken and hijacked people's monies from 9 banks 3 years ago, why would you assume to trust your information as far as your money in their system? I wouldn't.
I
I,
was just playing devil's advocate.
yeah, it's
Like I
okay to
don't
have your. I'm saying U.S. passport is what you normally use, and I think like the visa of the place you're going to is normally what you would do. That normally suffices wherever, but they're trying to build a so-called like ecosystem involving, like they're not asking Chinese people to do the same thing that has businesses there that are living there. They exempt any other nationality but black people. Why? Why would they do that? They say if you have diplomats, they're excluded and their children. So they're excluding Chinese, Indian people, every other nationality but black folks. And who's coming to Ghana the most? So they're targeting all blacks, but they're really targeting African Americans. That's why they keep saying African American, because they really want our information in those databases. We're the least protected. If we were to get hacked and our stuff was stolen, who's gonna do what about it? Brian ain't gonna do shit about it. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. And people that likes to fraud and steal IDs, they can make an ID and start doing frauds off of your ID. You never know how many ways this can go. But this is a biometric card. They're taking your fingerprint. They said that it might have even your iris. They have your picture. They have your birthday. They have your passport. They have your banking information. They have where you were born, your parents, where they were. I'm like, your parents, where your parents were born. They're getting all this information as if you were one of their citizens, and it just so happened to be an immigration service process.
Hey sister,
Which,
you have someone, Jen Jen wins. She has a question for you. Do you see it in the chat?
okay, do you think that it was a con game getting Black Americans to go to Ghana for the setup? Yeah, I think that what I have researched back in 2018 is when Africa had gotten $60 billion from China. That same year in 2018, literally, Ghana went to Washington and talked to the Black Caucus there in Washington, D.C. about this so called invitation to the year return. That months apart from them receiving this $60 billion. So they kind of like put two and two together. They need to get some revenue to come back to replace what they had just did. Thus, the invitation for the year return, which happened months later. And then 2019 came. They got $1.9 billion. Don't see no evidence of that money being on the ground for the people whatsoever. They pocketed that money. They seen how fruitful that was. And they're like, wait a minute, we really could stretch this out more. So, yes, they use that to lure us, to attract us. They had Steve Harvey involved. They had other celebrities go. They had Black Caucus go. They had Nancy Pelosi go. They had everybody and their mama supposedly go to this year return. And that's what I mean. Like they're working in concert with the Black Caucus, who are traitors. They don't care about Black Americans. They are willing to do a bill with Ghana without even considering if we even care to have any connection with them. And the fact that they're corrupt, why would I want to? Like, how dare you to just have us be involved with Ghana without even bothering to understand that maybe millions don't want to be bothered? So that's imposement, in my opinion. Like the way they're going to draft this bill is going to be important to hear to me. Like if it's just an invitation for those that care to go versus you all are going to go or you all have to be involved somehow. I don't know how they're going to word that bill, but I'm very interested in how the wording of that bill that's going to hopefully come out next month is going to state what it says. But like I said, most people are not going to know come July that when you get off that plane after getting that jab, in addition to that, they're going to be leading you to get fingerprinted and everything to get that card too. And they're going to tell you straight up, you won't be able to get no money or do anything without it. So many people are going to be ambushed, feeling dumb. Many people are not going to be able to afford to go turn back around and fly right back. What are you going to do? They're going to have to go through with it, most people, because they're going to be stranded if they don't. So it's kind of coercion to me. It's kind of a force to me because you ain't gonna fly 17, 18 hours and turn around and be able to leave and go back. So what do you call that? Yes, the Black Caucus is evil. Um, finish fashions to life for life. Yes, the Black Caucus. You know who's leading the Black Caucus is Sheila Jackson Lee. She is the one that was bragging about how she went to college in Ghana and how she supposedly understands Ghana's history and how she's thinking that her understanding is supposed to suffice for all our understanding here as a Black American, and it does not. She is not a Black American. She is of Jamaican descent. Yes, she was born here, but her family's from Jamaica, and she's been holding our reparations hostage for 30 to 40 years, and they're talking about voting for reparations. Who voted for Japan's reparations? Who voted for the Jewish to have reparations? Who voted for anybody else to have reparations? But we have to get ours voted on. So I'm just saying, like, a lot of these people that are in power, that are connected to Caribbean descent or African descent from Africa, they really don't like us the most, and they feel like they should be able to make and force us to have to do something against our will, and that's what I've been noticing.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Like in a nutshell, I'm really waiting for that to come up, this bill. And like I said, already wrote to the Black Caucus. They didn't respond yet, but I did get the representative, the Attorney General from Ohio, last name Josh, I think it's Jeff Josh, did respond and let me know that he has on file my complaint about Dr. Ericana and about my perception of what I'm seeing the Black Caucus is doing. Because I made a complaint about the Black Caucus. I said, how dare y'all go and make some type of bill and deal with Ghana president when they're corrupt as fuck? I don't want to have nothing to do with them. What I want from them is to leave me the fuck alone and people that I represent, that I'm advocating for. We don't want no ties with these people. You acting like it's a gift. That's not a gift. That's a fucking curse. Are you tripping? Got some juju in your juice? What's going on here?
Here she go.
I'm just saying, I wrote a 12-page letter, and like I said, I'm not done because I was told, because I wasn't satisfied with just hearing that they filed it and that they received it. I wanted them to give me a name and another organization or another governmental department to follow up with. So I'm going to contact the State Department, and I'm also going to contact probably another representative that's a white guy. I have to research him some more. I think he's in the State Department. But I'm just building my case because, like I said, I don't feel comfortable knowing that right now $500 million is a bond is floating about with this ADDI database, and that this past ambassador has declared that so-called diaspora is going to foot the bill. Like, who does that? But that's what she said in her videos. And most Black Americans who are not Pan Africans are not going to Pan African spaces to hear this mumble jumble that she's been talking about for the last six to 10 months that I've caught. And so I heard her only say it one time about this $500 million bond, but I followed with hearing about China's issue with having a developer who couldn't pay back their bonds, and how they're basically losing their business, and they're being restructured, and China is taking over, and all these things are happening. People are losing property and monies, and all kinds of things are happening behind bills of bonds not being paid on a timely fashion. So are these people that signing up going to be losing their homes, their businesses behind this bond? Well, like I said, if that's the case, I think they should know that that should not be allowed, because this bitch was fired for fraud, and I don't think she should be allowed to try it again with us. So I'm attempting to bar her access of us using our name, African American, like she got it like that. No, take that shit to Ghana. Take that shit to the Africans and have them worry about Wakanda City and all these other cons that you have, concocted in your brain, and leave us out of that mess. Because I think that she's doing that in hopes to make a bill big enough to claim that we need the reparations for that cost of that bond and everything else that she's tallying it up. Like, oh, they agreed to this. So you get 100,000 people to agree. What about the other 44 million people here? So you're gonna go off of 100,000 to take the words out of our mouths and our choice for our future by the little bit of people that you conned? That shouldn't be allowed. So that's my position. And we do have so many homeless people. That should be the situation at hand that they should be dealing with, not worrying about a Wakanda City or a museum or cryptocurrency or any other database that's out there that they're trying to make us sign up for. It's like more than just her database. Many other Pan-African content creators are creating a lot of different databases. I know that there's one by the name of BAIO. They have a database. Like I said, Dr. Ericana, this past Witch Bitch has one. Now this Ghanaian card will be having a database. I mean, it's going to keep going and going. And I think that they're all working in concert to build this so-called ecosystem of people that they're going to conclude that we're on board with trying to unify with Ghana for their debt. And that's not what I would ever agree to. If and I don't think many would agree to if they understood it.
Yep, and that's the thing that you got to get the message out there so that people can understand and know what's going on over there and what they're trying to do to us Black Americans over here. I'm just simply not going.
And
I'm not
like I
going.
said, what I hate the most about everything is that African American term that has been really utilized to the point of our detriment. That's why I have done my own declaration of my own identity. I've reclassified myself to just be Indigenous Black American. I still hold on to what it was before it was changed, but I use Indigenous as original so that because I know now that many foreigners have been using Black American and African American term, pretending to be us. And then when they become somebody or be recognized for some type of title, then all of a sudden they're the first Haitian this, they're the first Jamaican that. Then all of a sudden they remember where they came from. And we just been hustled out of our space and our position. And unfortunately, Pan Africans that are American, that are Black American indigenous here, don't understand that they have been stabbing their own foot with a knife and making it harder for us to have our own voice behind being Pan-African. It's just really ridiculous that this is where we are, but this is what I see. This is what I don't like. I am totally anti-Pan-Africanism to the core. Any questions?
You got so many people here that's struggling, that's hungry and all kinds of things. You got brothers and sisters here that won't even help their neighbor that live next door to them, but would rather tear them down and so forth, so on and so forth. But you mean to tell me you're gonna go to another country, somewhere you never been, and help build that? But you won't build
Exactly.
your brothers and sisters here though. Okay, that
I
makes
feel
sense.
like they don't get no kudos to go to Africa building a shack out there. I'm sorry. If you can't do something here first, if Africans can't collaborate with us here first to do something here, then don't think that I'm gonna be considering Africa. That just don't. That's not even. That shouldn't even be a question. But like I said, this notion of the motherland, this notion that your ancestors of old, like I said, and I'm straight up. If you find an ancestor that came from Africa, go ahead and erect them and use your juju, whatever the hell, and have them help you build. But you're not going to have me. That's what you're not going to have. And I mean it.
I know that's right.
Because like I said, Africans, they have a lot to say about what we not doing, but they most certainly ain't doing nothing themselves in Africa other than what they feel comfortable doing. But they got so much to say, got our names in their mouth every fucking day. I don't think Tariq Nasheed is helping us out though with talking the way he's been talking for as long as he's been talking. But I know he's doing that so that he is not talked about this museum. So he found a perfect scapegoat, immigrants, because we needed meat on the bone, and he's giving people meat on the bone. But that's not smart to do right now. We have real issues with homelessness, not like you said, people just using us up and spitting us out. We have real concerns that we should be tripping off of. That cop that only got what 2 years for murdering somebody. Other things are, nobody is taking our death serious at all, and we're not either. We're just on social media laughing it up and talking shit to immigrants, and I don't think we should be saying shit because they should be worrying about Africa, because like I said, that debt is coming. And like I said, they seem to only know to keep throwing us underneath the bus, telling us, what are you doing in America? Well, why are you so concerned about what I am or not doing? Get
I
up
got
out of
my
my face.
I got my own debt, okay? I got student loans and shit to pay.
Hmm.
Those are my debts. That's what I worry about. Period.
But they seem to think that, in my mind, A lot of these Africans are on this cascade system still. They never left it. They'll never leave it. That's why you still see modern day slavery going on. That's why you hear about all these kidnappings going on, all these ransoms going on, because their mindset is still there. When the going gets rough, they get to selling people, they get to sacrificing folks. And they still think that we are those people that need to still be in line with that notion and be happy about it. And I'm like, no, we persevered through the tough and rough times. We actually fought and got freedom, not to the best of our, not the way we really want to see it, but a lot better than most are seeing in other parts of the world. But they want to replace us and pry us from here so that we share the festivities of all the stuff that other black folks around the world are suffering. And I'm like, I didn't have nothing to do with those things going on. And they want to say, a lot of these Pan-Africans and Africans say, well, America did all these things to our country. Well, what are your presidents and politicians doing about it? What are your military doing about it? What are your men doing about it? Nobody is standing up and trying to strategize to do something different because they're content with what the quota is. And since they're getting their cut, they don't care about their future. And that's just been the mindset of many Africans. And they want to be pompous and talk crazy to us when they know that that's the deal in which they signed up for. There's no changing it. There's nothing that we can do as Black Americans to change what's happening in Africa. There's too many people over there wanting what they got, and they can't get nobody to go. So they, like I said, they want to sell us this lie that if we somehow get involved, it's going to change everything. Well, if that was true, we would have changed everything here. Okay, we would have made the cops get up out of our faces here. Would have had men be respectful to women here. We ain't got no power. We lost our power when we lost our mind here. And
Exactly.
the only thing we could do is add our misery onto their misery and make it more miserable. And I'm saying, I know that's not as far as I need to go to prove a point. You know, if you want to open it up to other people, I think that I've said enough. But like I said, if you guys check out my videos, I went more in depth with showcasing what the Ghanaians were saying about the e-levy bill themselves. That's a taxation that, in addition to this Ghanaian card, that they're trying to implement towards their debt. And that's a debt that's supposed to be transactional through a mobile cell phone or anything mobile wire wise is going to be attached to a 1.75% taxation on there. And it's a little bit too close for comfort that this card at the same time is being talked about too. And if that's added on, would people even notice that? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, you have corrupt leaders in Ghana that have already done the most, and they're continually looking how they can still extract monies from people that are not paying attention to the details of what it is that they're asking for them to have happen to them. And I think that is really fucked up, like I said, to simply want to go 2 weeks, 3 weeks max to go see something in Africa, and you have to give up all your information and trust these people that you've never seen before, and God only knows what will happen once you leave, if you can go after that. And like I said, I don't like to be late telling information. I'd rather be beforehand. That's supposed to happen starting July 1st. So this is February, what, 27th or 28th, something like that. This is a perfect time to mention it now. Hopefully you guys will like and share the video. Hopefully people will subscribe to my channel and start hearing other things that I brought out that they said in their own words. It's not me speculating, it's their own news reports that's showcasing how indebted they are and how desperate they are. And they're saying that they're not willing to take any more loans from the IMF. And so therefore this conversation about us returning is escalating more and more and more. And that's why they're never going to stop until we tell them enough already.
Yeah, I was reading the text right quick because Sis Chocolate just texted me. She just got home, so I'm waiting to see if she's gonna jump
That
on
would
a
be
panel.
awesome. She can hop on. Yeah. Or
I
anyone
know,
actually.
right?
I'm cool now because I've said enough. I mean, what I really wanted to talk about is the ratchetness kind of that's been going on. Um, Not just with Pan Africanism, but also the beefing sector and also the Panosphere. You know, you heard about Tommy getting hit on and all that type of thing, and how
Yeah,
everybody's,
we talked about that, you and I.
yeah, everybody's blowing that out of proportion. Like that's the biggest thing besides the Russian and the Ukraine going to war right now. It's like, what the fuck's going on with these men's mind? I mean, we're really looking bad out here. We're really looking crazy out here. And that's why people are preying on us because they really are treating us like we're little kids and that we're
We
unruly
looking bad
children.
out here, whether it's on the men's side or the
Yeah.
women's side.
Well,
We
it's
we all
mostly,
looking bad.
well, I mean, we're looking bad because we haven't been able to speak as much as they have been heard. You know what I mean? If that can change, that would be helpful. Unfortunately, people like to laugh and they like to be astonished and they like to listen to ridiculousness more than they want to hear information that's going to be productive and helpful because that's boring. They want to have something saucy on the side and people yelling and cussing and acting a fool and people getting doxxed and people getting slapped. And I don't know. I don't, I mean, that's okay to a minimum, but every single day for hours upon hours upon hours, when you have other things going on, like inflation going on, people are talking about the fuel prices are going up, and food prices are going up, and food is missing. We need to be stocking and storing and talking about those types of things. But instead of that, we still got time to just play games on social media. And I don't know how these men can form their lips talking about their leaders. How? How? They looking like teenage boys out here. Hi, I'm for Black Righteous Folks Home. Beautiful soul. Thank you for asking. So she just got in.
Yeah, she just got in. She said it was snowing out there, so
Oh,
she just made it home. But the thing about I wanted to say about people, because I think I talked to you about this before, how people, well, we all know drama sells, right?
yeah.
And I think why that is as well, because people, they try to escape what's really going on in their life, because if think about it, if they always sitting back thinking about serious stuff, sometimes that could drive somebody crazy. So what
I
they do is
understand.
they look to other stuff to laugh. Rather it's not good, but they look to other things to, to have a laugh or whatever the case may be, to
But
escape what's
leading,
really
but
going
leading
on
as
in life.
men don't. Leading men don't do that. Leading men don't do that. Smart, intelligent leading men don't do that. They stay sticklers to what is going on here and now, and that's why I don't give a lot of credit to any of these men. It's very hard pressed for me to give anyone a credit these days because it's just too much of that escapism, like you said. It's too much. And like I said, when shit hits the fan, I mean, are we going to have brimstones fall from the sky and then we're going to start understanding how serious things are?
I mean, but we never know what people are doing in the see on YouTube or any social media. People are characters, right? They get to be whoever and whatever they want to be on YouTube, but we don't know what they're doing in their real life. They actually may be watching positive things. Some people just not vocal about it, like they don't just come up on panels and stuff and speak about it, but it doesn't mean that they're not doing or thinking or talking about positive things that's going on in the world, on the back end. We don't know that. We
But they're
just
not contributing to our collective where the world can see that we are like in it, in this race called life. We're not being considered on the Richter scale at all if you look at it as a whole from what you're seeing visibly when you get online every day. I mean, I search around and look for positive guys, but most of them are not black, unfortunately. I've seen a couple here and there, and I try to showcase them as best I can, but it's just hard pressed. I mean, most of them are just talking about working out though, or survival stuff once in a while. But for the most part, it's just this beefing stuff and this debating stuff. And how many debates can you have about religion? How many debates can you have about the past? How many times can you talk about slavery? How many debates can you talk about your identity? Shouldn't we want to settle it once and for all for our sanity and for the world to understand that we're not confused and that we are taking ownership of our destiny and our identity, to not let them choose to name us and choose for us our destiny? That's why I'm going above and beyond, writing and saying and proclaiming and declaring who I am, because I don't want people that are strangers to me to make the decision for me, because it looks nothing but chaos on social media. Oh, these people are just so screwed up. Every channel you go to, every time, every day, the same consistent thing. But what they're doing, as we all know, is they're making easy money. But the world sees it as chaos, and it can be painted and slanted that way as we're confused individuals that don't have our shit together, that needs to be taken advantage over or taken over, to be led, because we don't know how to do so ourselves. And I'm saying at some point we got to, even if it's the women that has to do it, because obviously we can't wait for these men to finally understand how detrimental they're playing themselves by not ending the debate. Like, indigenous black American already. That's it. Why do we have to go here and there and everywhere with the same thing? Can you reinvent yourself and create another lane and talk about another thing at some time? And I think that women, when you feed into their rhetoric and their bullshit all the time, and you contribute to that and you watch it, they're not going to change. If we turned it off and they seen their numbers drop, or they seen their subscription fall, they probably be start scratching their head and say, "What the fuck just happened?" But we're not doing anything to change nothing, because we are still allowing it. We're still contributing to watching it, and we're still like, people are still donating. I don't never donate, but there's still people donating. There's people still jump on these panels. There's people still spending 8 hour talking about women and black women and men and black women issues and gender warring and, colorism, and like I said, debates and bashing and all this type of stuff. I mean, they wake up at 5 in the fucking morning before the birds really started chirping, and it goes on until 1 or 2 in the morning again, consistently for the last 4 years. I've seen this every single day. I've downsized watching it myself personally, because it has upset me so much. My blood pressure was getting too high. My doctor told me I need to stop watching the stuff that's upsetting me and do something new. So, me personally, I started watching more cooking channels. I started watching other non black people that are doing like wilderness stuff, to learn and at least watch that, to see how men should be acting, to kind of help me understand how bad off they are, so that I don't go in circles myself and make myself go insane.
But
But
but but we can't always, right, put it on the men, because you have women out here that's just as worse as men, and they're women, so they should know better. Okay,
mhm,
they out here doing all kinds of wickedness and stuff.
mhm, mhm.
So if we're going to be fair, then we have to be fair across the board. I think
The
the
only
men
reason why
and
I say
women
men is
should.
because they're supposed to be leaders, though, and we follow what the men are doing. But I'm saying that this is a time where we should not take their lead and follow our own better judgment and do right by our own people, period. That's what
But
I've
women,
done.
but what I'm saying is women, they don't even know their place. That's why I say they're just as reckless. They don't even know who they are. I mean, look at them. Look what they're doing. So what a man gonna do for a woman if she don't even know who she is? He can't do nothing with that.
Well,
She's
I'm
out
on.
here all kind of ghetto and ratchet and just
Well,
all over the place. She has to find herself.
I see what you're saying, but I'm not talking about the normal woman that these men are not able to even touch and meet. I'm talking about the fact that we're in dire straits right now, and people need to learn how to do stuff when shit hits the fan, and people are not showcasing their abilities because it's not, I guess it's not profitable, but some people could make it profitable if you were good. Because I know a guy I'm watching now called Wilderness Cooking. He got over 1 million subscriptions. He builds right in front of you and cooks a whole lamb and do all kinds of stuff, and he gets hella views and makes a lot of money by doing positive stuff. And I've never seen nothing like it. A proficient, efficient man. I mean, I never. I've been trying to promote his video on my last video. I talked about him, and I'm going to showcase more of what he does because, like I said, many women don't see real men, so therefore we don't know what is real.
I don't know what to say about that. If a woman can't tell a real man, then her head needs to be evaluated. But this goes both ways. There are a lot of men, you may not see it, but there are a lot of men that can cook their butts off. I
Hmm.
mean, they listen, they're better than women when it comes to cooking. You got men out here that's hands on deck, like they know how to do everything. But
Trick
then you
Dad, Trick Daddy has 2 restaurants in I think Florida, and he showcases his cooking abilities and stuff. I didn't even know he was
I
doing
don't
that
even
kind of
know who
stuff.
Trick Daddy is. That name, when you say Trick Daddy, that already done threw me off. I'm
Yeah,
like, Trick Daddy cooking?
yeah, he has 2 restaurants. He was a rapper. I guess he was affiliated with Trina before. He was kind of raunchy though with his rap. I didn't really like him as a rapper, but now he's much older. You know, he's probably like 20 years in the game or whatever. And now he moved on and he's starting to cook and whatnot. And he's more of a family man. But his rap was about twerking and getting it and all that kind of stuff, kind of like freaky and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't really listen to that, but I found him and found out that he has a restaurant and that he's real good at cooking, and like other celebrities go to his restaurant and stuff. So I am going to showcase him another time, but I didn't showcase him with this other dude because this dude could build, then turn around and cook. I mean, he did so much stuff like within like less than a half an hour. I was just blown away. And he was kicking it with a freaking ego. An eagle came and kicked it with him, and he played with a freaking eagle. I was just like, what the fuck? I never seen nothing like it. But I'm gonna showcase other videos of him. That was my recent video. I talked about this guy. Again, women, if you want to see a real efficient man, go check out Wilderness Cooking, and you will understand how a real man that knows how to make something out of nothing, just with a knife and a shovel, can figure out how to cook, underground and do these different things that, with minimum, like efficiencies or stoves or whatever. He knows how to do stuff outside, everything outside. It's like unbelievable. And he makes it look easy. I was like, what the fuck? But that was what really got me going. Like, man, we're not encouraged to see how good these men are, to the point all we hear is them gossiping and bitching and whining and crying.
But let me ask you a
And
question though. That because you
mhm,
see, I just want to make a point right quick. That's just because you see a man that's doing something right, and you may think that's a good man until you with that man. That man could be batshit crazy up in the head, but he know how to do things. What do
mhm.
you do in that case? Is he still a good man?
Well, like I said, this dude, he was Turkish. The only fault that I would find if I had one was his religion because he's Muslim. So, of course, I wouldn't want to date a guy like that. But I still wouldn't not mind being around something like that or learning from someone like that, maybe a weekend or something like that. If I had an opportunity, I'm just saying hypothetically, like camping situation, just to learn because I like to learn stuff and I like to be around people that are smart and innovative and to spark my brain and make me think things are possible out here because most of us don't think in terms of, your electricity going out. What are you going to do? You know, if you didn't have this, what other thing could you do to make up for this and that and the other? And I just to see that efficiency. Now, I only seen that one time in my life as a child, but not out in the wilderness like he showcased. It was just like unlike anything. But I'm telling you, as a woman, you know, most of us judge men off of their looks, but for the first time, I realized what people were saying, how men could be ugly as fuck, but become attractive by what they're capable of doing and their leadership ability. I was just like, wow, this really changed my mind because it was like he was just too efficient and proficient for me not to understand that he was more of a, what do you call it, a prize than someone, you know, to scorn at because he didn't look so good because he had a big nose or whatever, but everything else he knew what to do. So I don't know. I think that, you know, we could judge anybody just like Trick Daddy, his past. I didn't like the way he carried himself. That's why I didn't really listen to his music. But I was shocked to even hear they even had a restaurant because many rappers just, you know, flaunt their money and throw their money up to the wind. And I don't know if you heard about that dude, Jim Jones, who was crying almost inside of Gucci store because he was not being served water or something like that because he was waiting for his jewelry to be made or whatever, and they took forever. And so he was mad because no one asked about if he needed water or if he needed something for him to feel good while he was waiting around. And he started whining and crying about discrimination and stuff like that. It was so embarrassing. Why didn't he just turn his ass and walk out? $20,000 you still were willing to spend in that store, and in your mind you felt disrespected. Just turn around and leave. Take that money to the,
Wow. And he was still willing to spend that money in that store?
yes,
Wow. Oh,
yes.
wow.
He could have turned around and gave that money to the hoodlum, you know, to the people or whatever, to showcase and let Gucci know how they missed out on the opportunity of getting that money. That's what he should have done. But he stayed and recorded him whining and crying about not being served and how much money he was trying to spend up in there. That's
But
what
you
he
know,
did.
but that's the mindset of rich people. But I want to go back to what you was talking about survival. One thing that I can say, right? Poor people, they know how to survive. Rich people is going to kill themselves. They don't know
Mm,
nothing about that life. And
mm,
there's more poor people here on this planet Earth than there are rich people. So think about it. A lot of people on this planet Earth can survive. Okay, you put them now like me. Okay, I could survive to a certain point, right? Because
mm,
once I see a snake, I'm just gonna pass out. Like the snake gonna eat me instead of me eating it. Okay, so when it comes to that part, I'm just not gonna survive. I just want to let you know. But
mm,
furthermore, as you know, when the push comes to shove and you're really hungry, oh, you can kill something, or you can kill it, and you can come up with some fire and cook whatever it is that you need. But see, this is why we as black people need to go back to the basic and being vegetarians or vegans. Then we wouldn't have to worry about killing no flesh or nothing like that because we're gonna always have food to eat from the earth.
mm,
That's what we need to do. The heck with that meat because that meat is killing us off anyway. But when we start eating clean and start eating the way that our people were supposedly eating in the first place, which is food from the earth, we'll be okay.
yeah,
Because
but you know, many
you
people are not
should
going to be.
you should eat to live, not live to eat.
Yeah, that's true, and I'm guilty of that. I'll tell you that right now. You know, my hold on, I'm putting my charger on. If it's going to stop doing that, um, I procrastinate in that area, and I need to get over, you know, being locked down and all that kind of stuff. I don't feel comfortable being out here like I used to be, but I did get my bike fixed, and I'm starting to ride more. Starting tomorrow, I'll be on a long ride tomorrow. But you know, those types of things, it's a personal battle. But I'm just saying, collectively, we don't know how to inspire other people to be inspired anymore, and so we're bogged down with just negativity every single day, and it kind of like drains me. And that's what I've been finding. And that's why I'm more apt to drink or smoke or eat. And that's why I haven't been on social media as much as I have been before. I've been downsizing for the last couple of weeks. So, and I've been trying to watch more comedy stuff. I've been trying to watch more cooking stuff and things, like I said, wilderness stuff, to try to break away from the negativity. And like I say, whenever I do hear about blackness, it goes back to our identity, it goes back to those debates again, it goes back to us being delusional, saying that we're Indian and all these other types of things, and you're African and you need to unify with Africa. And I'm just so sick and tired of that same thing. But like I said, I feel in my spirit something's about to happen and we're not going to like it. That's what I'm saying, because we're not doing our part. Hi, Chocolate Chocolate. Glad to see you. I hope you can come up.
Hello, beautiful, sexy little sister.
Thank you, Lady J, for subscribing to me. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Lady J. Thank you so much for coming as well. I appreciate you. Yeah, but this thing with I'm going to talk about gender war too. I'm going to have to do a video on that because I'm seeing things that's more so one-sided, but what really grinds my gears is to see men bashing women, so black women. Let me make
Hmm.
this clear. Black women so much and so bad when black women has always had black men's back from the beginning of time. I remember black women would jump in a man's fight before the man would fight his own fight.
You ain't never lied.
Black women has always been warriors, always have been from the beginning of time. Okay, that's all I know. That these
Yeah,
men
we're
today
more
are
ride or
so
die than the men are.
dismayed, huh?
I said we're more ride or die than the men are.
Most definitely, most definitely. And I'm like, in the way that men should not be putting down women as much as they do, because women are the ones that go through. Oh, girl, I just can't wait to do that video on that because women go through so much. It's not even funny. And for men to talk about women and to put black women down after all our grandparents and great grands has been through, and these men had the nerve to disrespect women the way that they do when we were always there, riding for the guy and jumping in fights before them. I remember when women would even hide drugs in their house and they got babies for the men.
Yeah, you never lie. I really respect women that have had kids, that are good mothers, or they are married like you and they have been lifelong partners with it. Because you don't hardly ever see that as a black woman. And I know, with my temperament and my strong headedness, it would be hard for me to submit to anybody normal. He has to be an exceptional creature, and I ain't never met it. So I'd rather be alone than put up with what a lot of these women are putting up with. I don't know how they can do it, but I can't. And I admit it. I could never have kids and put up with a lot of the women that they're putting up with, and how they do it, how they find the strength to do it. I don't never want to know, but it's, astonishing to see. I just wish men understood that women are doing two times the job, especially if they have kids, and especially if they're working as well and taking care of home. It's like you're doing three jobs and they're only doing one. And men don't understand the sacrifice of a woman that's proficient. I'm not talking about just being a mom and not doing right by her kids, or not taking care of her man, not taking care of her home. I'm talking about one that is, to be so thorough. That's very hard to do in the midst of everything going on in this world today. So
You
kudos to women that's able to do that.
you know what messed me up today too now? Now men are saying that women have to bring something to the table. And I'm like, "What?" But wait a minute. Hold up. But I,
Hmm.
I thought I thought y'all were kings though. I thought y'all were gods though. I thought y'all wanted that place to be the the man.
They
Really?
want
So
to
then
be
now the
us.
woman gotta bring something to the table. Help me understand this here. Okay, so the woman gotta bring something to the table. That means the woman gotta work. She gotta take care of the kids. She gotta do the homework because the men ain't doing that.
Hmm.
The men is not doing homework with these kids. Stop it.
I
Okay,
know.
they're not. And then the woman is supposed to take care of the man too, bring his dinner and all of that.
That's what
But
I'm
the
talking
woman is
about.
supposed to bring more than that to the table. Y'all got me completely all the way 360 degrees fucked up. Okay,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
not happy.
Yeah. But like I said, you should be training some of these women that want to learn how to catch a real man, what it is to do so, because you have experience, life experience in that regard. I definitely don't know how to do it. I could just tell you how to be a warrior woman and how to keep fucked up men up out of your face. That's what I know how to do.
I know you do. I know you do. These men, I mean, they need to get it together. These men are so, and I'm sorry to say it because I love my black men, but these men today, they're made different. They're bitch made. I don't understand. I never met a bunch of men that complain and whine like women.
Man,
And
or
it's
you
always in women's shit. I'm not, listen, I'm never in real time. I've never seen it. I never seen this stuff until I really started being on YouTube, and that's when I started seeing this stuff. I'm like, what is going on? But this is what I have to say, right? These men need to stop telling women how to be women. When you got men that's being with men and wearing pocketbooks and
oh you
weed
ain't
and makeup and
ooh,
heels, how about you men check the men first before you can come for a woman?
you about to crack the earth with that one.
Then maybe, just maybe we can talk and let and leave the women to the women. How about y'all do
Mm,
that?
wow.
Like this is ridiculous. Like this stuff be grinding my gears. Y'all
Well,
don't know.
let's
I'm
not talk
here.
about the lack of spirituality that they don't have and how they don't know God. And that's my problem with many men because they are egotistical. They are on their, masculinity or fake masculinity energy, bow down to me, submit to me. And like I said, they don't know God. They don't understand how to be humble. They don't appreciate what they have. They don't understand how quick it is to be taken away. You can get sick. You could get in a car accident. Things could change real quick in life, and for people to be walking around like they did this, like they're God and all that, I mean, I can't relate to that mentality. It's like, no, I've been through too much and I know life too harsh for me to submit to a guy that does not understand it, period.
I don't know, Kenneth. Right? You a man, so help me out with that. I don't know. Because the way these men moving out here, you let them tell it they all six figures and 10-figure men. So I don't know.
Yeah, high value man is a joke. That's the biggest joke of the year. High value where?
High value in their own psychotic brain cells. That's about it.
It has to be. It has to be. I hope chocolate you're gonna come up and grace us because I haven't talked to you in so long. Are you busy still? Is somebody in the back?
No, I don't see her.
Oh. Well, if anybody wants to come up at this point, I think
You
I'm
out there,
done.
chocolate? If you're out there, put in the chat that you're still in the chat. But yeah, this race war with men and women is, man, I never seen nothing like it. It's crazy. It's crazy. How you gonna have unity when you even got the men and women going against each other? Where's the unity at?
But that's done
How
on
in the world that's
purpose.
gonna happen?
That's called propaganda, though. These people that own this social media is deliberately allowing that type of thing to go on and allowing people to make simple money off of that because it's destroying our mentality, our spirit, and it's making us never trust nobody, and it's making us feel like we need to do it by ourselves. And it's all working the way they planned. Is exactly the way they planned it. Yeah, Kenneth, right? You can come up. At this, I mean, I'm done. If you guys check out my videos, I would appreciate it. I didn't want to go on and on about Africa, but I have a lot of content about Africa. Unfortunately, the reason why is because I see what they've been doing and I don't like it. So that's why. I think I remember Kenneth Wright a long time ago. I think he
Yeah,
used to be on
Kenneth
Sugar.
Kenneth Wright used to be in Sugar Shop.
Oh yeah, I think he said he was married, wasn't he?
Um, I don't I don't remember. That was so long ago, girl.
I think he's one of the ones that's either in a long-term relationship or was married.
I don't know.
Oh, he's getting some food. But yeah, what do you think about Tariq Nasheed and his
I don't
rant?
watch Tariq. I don't watch Tariq. Remember I told you that before. I don't and I'm from the conscious community, but I don't I don't watch Tariq. I don't know what's going on with Tariq.
Well, you know what he did was a couple of weeks ago or so, he was on Twitter, and the question was asked, how has immigration helped Black Americans? Not specifically Black immigrants, but all immigrants. And it became a sandstorm of sorts. All kinds of Black immigrants came on arguing with Tariq, and Tariq went in on them, calling them tethers and telling them that they don't serve no purpose and that they were leeching off of us and using our saying things that are actually truthful but just not saying it in a way that's gonna enhance us moving forward. And he just kind of like opened the heavens of everybody and their demons to come down that forgot to come down to hell, and they have been dispatched, and they're now just talking about FBA and ADOS all the time. All these Africans and Caribbeans are saying that we are a hate group and we're Islamic phobic now because of what he did, and he's still on this tip of talking about the same conversation even after knowing that that was inflammatory. He hasn't stopped.
Why is it when you have your own opinion about something or you go against something, you got to be labeled as hate speech or anti this or anti that? Like you have no, your own mind. Like you have your no feelings. I don't understand that.
That's just that was easy to do. Like I said, I know what Islamophobia looks like, and that's when you're killing people with machetes in South Africa and all these other places. That's Islamophobic. What we're talking about is finally having an opinion where it's not considered the group of block of black. And because we're not acting like, mindful kids to our parents, all of a sudden we're being labeled Islamophobic. But that's Pan African mumbo jumbo saying that you're Islamophobic if you're not in agreement with being a block of black. And it's like we never subscribe to this notion that we're block of black. And the only reason why I have self-identified myself because I'm tired of people telling me who I am. I'm gonna tell you who I am. If transgender people
Facts,
can
exactly.
label themselves with genitalia still swinging in the wind and they're calling themselves a woman, and the
Uh
laws are
oh. You
recognizing
better
them as,
stop. You better
and
stop, sis.
I'm just saying, and the women are the laws is recognizing them as a woman, I should be able to determine who I am as well. That doesn't mean it's Islamic phobic. That's just me taking, my own what do you call it, future in my hands, and naming myself that we never have labeled ourselves. That's the problem. The government has only been the ones labeling us. And because of that history, they still think that we still should sit by and allow them to relabel us yet again. And I'm saying this time we should not allow it. That's what I'm saying.
You and I had this talk. I don't know if it was yesterday or the other day. When I said if black people were the first people on this planet Earth, that means everybody came from us, right? So that means uh everybody should be labeled African. See, because I don't understand how only black Americans got to be named African Americans, right? But you got everybody else from the Caribbean and all of that. They're not labeled as African Jamaican. They're not labeled as Mexican African. Like, why is it that everybody gets to have their own name, but only black Americans got to be called African American when the
That's
first
because
European is from Africa? When you let if you let these people tell it.
exactly they're trying to inch us into the mindset that we need to return to Africa. That's the only reason why they did it. That's called propaganda 101. And they've been bashing us supposedly like the Chinese torture of dropping a drop of water on your forehead in hopes to make you go crazy and accept it. But I'm not.
Listen, I let people be what they want to be and what they claim to be. That's fine with me. I'm not about to argue with nobody or who they feel, who they should be, or who they are.
Hmm.
And you're not going to sit here and tell me who Eunice is, because only Eunice can tell you who she is. You know?
Exactly. Yep. But for some strange reason, we ain't supposed to have a voice as a Black American, and that's why the introduction of ADOS and FBA even came out. Because if we were respected as being our own lineage and our own identity, we wouldn't have to. But everybody's sharing our identity and saying that we're all the same, and that's disrespectful. You're erasing our history. You're erasing my great grandparents. You're just attaching me to a place I've never been to, and saying that everybody that was here in America don't matter. That's what you're doing. You're erasing Black Americans, and that's not cool to do. And I'm saying at that point, now that I see it, I can't allow something like that to be. And that's not Islamophobic. That's recognizing I have a right to have my own identity, just like everybody else has been having their own.
Exactly. I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
So, how do you identify yourself? Just Black American?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm universal. No, let me stop. It's like I said. It's like I said. I can prove that I'm mixed with white and Indian. That I can
Mm.
prove. I cannot prove I'm African. I can't prove that. My mama can't prove it. My daddy can't prove it. My mama can't prove it, even though she dead now. But I'm just saying, like I can go as far as that. I can't go all the way back there. Listen, if somebody want to dig up all of these African people and find some bone structures of who I'm related to, feel free and come back to me and talk to me about it, and then we can have a conversation.
I said
But for
resurrect
right
them and
now,
have them build Africa.
exactly,
They
exactly.
I'm like I said, I don't have no connection to my times past other than the people that I can account for. Now I have a name to a great grandparent that I never seen a picture yet, but I seen my grandparent that I never knew existed, and I'm looking to figure out this picture of my great grandparent and hope to get his parents so I can get a picture of them. But if I can get a certificate of birth and death and marriages or military and all these things, that's tangible. Those people existed. Those are the people I should be honoring. People I don't have no record of, no name for, no nothing for. There is nothing that I'm going to put my hat on that for. That's something that people have conjured up and it may or may not be true. And you're telling me I need to be emotional about something that may or may not be true? I can't do it. I just don't have it in me.
That's my only problem. I don't have a problem with being African. All I'm saying is prove to me, show and prove to me that I am that. That's all I'm saying.
Mm,
That's it. I don't have no problem being because I got to be who I am, right?
yeah.
If I'm African, I can't just choose what I want to be. I
But
mean, because
Eunice,
that would be a fact.
you already said that you have white and Cherokee, so you'll never just be African if you have other races, though.
No, I'm saying if that was to be, if they needed, if I needed real solid proof, like I said, dig these people up and show and prove that. Because if you can
Hmm.
show and prove that, then I would have no other choice but to claim, another, whatever the fuck I'm supposed to be, right? I can't, exclude something that I am or I'm part of, if that is the truth. Like I said,
Kenneth,
I can only prove what I am today. That's it.
I know Kenneth is saying the same thing that happened to me. He says that the stream has ended. You are only going to be able to email him if he has an email. But yeah, that's what it said to me when I tried to get on the link that it had ended right when I started being on there. So he tried to hop on right now, just to let you know.
I got to figure out what that. I was talking to you with the mute button on. I got to figure out, Kenneth, what that's about. Really, this is my. What is this? really my first, no, my second live stream. So I really haven't figured out all of these things um, to do on here. So to try to go back into to try to get the link or try to figure out why they're saying the stream has ended. I don't know what that's about. So I may not can get you in, Kenneth, but don't worry, we're gonna have another conversation. And you could come on another time just to, if even if we're not talking about it, you can always come back and just go back to what we was talking about today. I don't mind.
If he
Okay.
has a comment or a question that he wanted to ask you or me, he can do so, and we'll read it out or whatever. If you feel like doing that, Kenneth,
Yeah,
right?
he can do that. He can do that. And to my sisters, I have to give y'all a wrench. See, once I figure that out too. So I still got some learning to do and some growing to do as time
Oh,
go
I
on
know how to
my
do it. They're letting me.
channel.
Oh, never mind. I can't do that because I'm not the. Oh yeah, you have to be the provider. Yeah, well, at least this was my first time on a live with you, and it went very well. And like I said, I feel comfortable talking to you, and I feel like a lot of conversations we can have, and not be ratchet and have all the foolery that we witness daily. And hopefully, people will respect different vantage points that are not being expressed. Somehow, might end some of these debates because that's my goal is to try to minimize the need to have the same conversation because we really have other things to do and we don't have time to tarry with just being stuck on stupid all the time. I mean, that's how we're looking, and I'm hopeful that people will be embarrassed like I am and feel like maybe we should start other things of thought and elevate our mentality and our spirituality to be contributing to the solution instead of aiding the problem.
Sister Beautiful Soul, you couldn't get on either, just like Kenneth. Sister Chocolate just texted me. She said Sister Soul, uh Sister's Beautiful Soul wanted the link. So I was wondering she couldn't get in either. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm gonna have to ask somebody what to do in that case when that reads that, because I don't know what that's about.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird because as soon as it started, when it said I was in the back, it just said it had just ended, like immediately. And I was thinking that something happened. I was sabotaged. Like nobody wants me talking.
And so now I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to send, because I probably could send Chocolate the link through text. I could send her the link.
Oh, you can text her.
Yeah, let me see.
She says she's
But she,
getting ready, so maybe she's gonna come up. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick, okay?
but she can't get the link, so that's what
Huh?
I'm trying to figure out how to. Uh,
You should email it to her like you did me.
yeah, but I emailed it to you before we even got on.
No, I'm saying to chocolate.
I emailed you the link before we got on in the back thing before I even clicked the live button. That's how I was able to send it to you.
No, I'm not talking about me. I'm saying send chocolate through her
I
email.
I know. You said because I sent it to you, right?
I'm saying because you were able to send it to me, maybe you can send her the link through her email.
But that's what I'm telling you. The way I sent the email to you, I sent it to you before I got on the live stream. Now I'm on the live stream. I got to figure out how to go out of the live stream in order to go
Oh,
back to that box where it says to send the link to the different people. That's what I'm saying to you.
oh, so you can't do it because you're on the same thing you used.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick because I've been holding it for a minute.
All right. Don't worry, y'all. I'm gonna really figure this stuff out because this stuff is new to me. Um, but I'm gonna be doing more live streams because I love having conversations like this and doing panels. But one thing I won't do is a chaos panel. I don't like that. I don't like for people to cut people off. I can't do that screaming stuff. I just cannot do that. My anxiety would go to the roof. I can't. Thank you, Kenneth. Right, but and again, like I said, you can always come back and say what it is that you needed to say from this show. I don't have a problem with that because I got to try to figure out how to really work this stuff. I'm trying to learn as I go.
I'm back.
Oh, you back? Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So, Sister Chocolate, I'm just gonna watch the play. So, she's not gonna come on. So maybe next time she'll come on and join us, and then I can have my other sisters and Kenneth Wright and anybody else that got some common sense can come on the panel. So we can have a good conversation.
Hmm.
But
Well, I appreciate everybody coming out, though. This is my first time doing a live with Eunice, and I thought it went very well. I hope everybody understand what I try to say, because a lot of times people like to paint a brush of hate, Islamic phobic, whatever, to have, your opinion about what you're seeing for our survival. And I'm not allowing that. I'm not going to let nobody set boundaries that they're not setting on themselves. It's not fair that other people can have opinions and state whatever they want to state about us, and we're not supposed to say nothing about nobody. I'm not gonna have that ever be the way in which I move. Find a child and tell that child to sit in the corner and shut the fuck up, but I will never do that.
did you say you would never tell a child to?
No, I'm saying I said go tell a child to go shut up and sit in the corner, but I won't be doing that.
No, 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 no. That's cruel. That is so cruel. To tell a child to shut the f up and go sit in the corner.
Well, because that's how they try to treat us, is what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people are perceiving us to be like children,
Yeah.
and that we shouldn't have a voice, and that we need to be somewhere in the corner with our nose stuck in the corner, like shutting up. And that's why I'm so mad with a lot of these men on social media, because they have big voices, they have bigger platforms, they have a bigger number or audience, that they really could be ringing bells and cracking heads with the information that I have, but they're not interested because they're making easy money just with gender warring, and it's so silly, and it's a cop out, and it's a coward. And I don't respect these types of men. I mean, if I had 50,000, 100,000, a million, I would be tearing up. People would be pissed. I'd be rocking America right now. Trust and believe, I'll be rocking.
When you gonna be rocking? What do you mean you gonna be
I'm
rocking?
saying, if I had 50,000, I would be trying to tell my subscriptions to do this, what I'm doing, fax this, submit this, have heads rolling about this Pan African talk about our identity and all these things, and just really get things shaken. I would not just be trying to be glorified on a panel. I mean, that is boring. Why do people feel like that's the way to go? Like, look at me, I'm God. I'm a cult leader. I'm the all knowing. Like, you don't know shit.
Well, you already know my stance. You already know who I am. I am universal. So I will be talking about a lot of things on my panel. But like I said, it won't be no ratchet, ghetto, loud stuff. I am not with that. I'm more so, teaching people, learning, and getting to know, what's in people's mind, how they think, where they going in life, what they want out of life. Like, I'm with things like that. I am very global, as you can see my globe behind me, you know. So I'm universal. I'm everything and I'm everywhere. And it's just as
Hmm.
simple as that. I don't
Can
limit myself to education. I do not limit myself to finding out what's going on in this world. This is why, which I had to say, the reason why I always talk to my sister for Black, because she has been schooling me on what's going on in Africa and with Africa. Because had it not been for her, I would have been slow jumping on board with finding out this stuff as well. So she has been keeping me, up to speed with everything when it's dealing with Africa and their conniving Stephen asses, you know, trying to
yeah,
steal our identity and mess.
yeah, they doing a lot. Kenneth, I wanted to ask you, do I remember it right? Are you married or just in a long-term relationship? I think I remember you being married. Am I right? But yeah, these men are out for easy money. Beautiful soul, like I said.
remember Kenneth Wright. He used to crack. I'm sorry, sister. He used to crack me up on the panel. I'd be like, "What the heck is going on with this brother?"
I forgot what I was about to say. Um, remember those panels we used to have at Uncle Suge when it was packed, and I used to fall asleep.
Heck yeah! Listen,
I used to wake up going in on people when I was sleeping for like 2-3 hours late.
you used to be. Oh shoot! You used to be off the train, man. You would.
He's like, where'd she
You would
come
go to
from? She
sleep.
was sleeping.
Then you be there, be drinking. I'd be like, my sister off the hook.
You
But
know, because
those was
then
the days, though. Those was
right
the
now
fun
I'm not
days.
high. Right now I'm not drunk. I haven't
But
drank anything.
could you use a different term than say hi? Because now people can you know twist it and
Buzz,
say
butt
that
it, butt it, butt
oh,
it.
I didn't know she get high
No,
instead of
butt
talk
it
about
off of weed.
exactly. You gotta
Yeah.
watch what you say up here.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But no, I was very shy then, and I'm still kind of shy now. I would say that I'm being forced to be more vocal because of what I'm seeing, and I'm like out of character. As I told you before, I'm pushing myself to speak because I feel like there's such a need to do so, and I'm just like, I don't have to be perfect to tell the truth. You know what I mean? Just tell the truth. That's all
That's
you have
it.
to do.
Just say what's on your mind. Say what you gotta say
Hmm.
and
So I'm
stand in
doing
it.
I'm doing what God told me. I should not be fearful. You should just walk in the spirit of truth and righteousness, and that's what I'm attempting to do.
Yeah. I just do it. I just do it. When I know that I'm righteous, it comes easy. It comes easy.
Does anybody have any questions or comments that I can read? I'm still waiting for him to tell me if he's married or not. He just kind of like
He's
vanished.
not gonna answer that question. He comes like, "Why you wanna know?"
No, I don't. I don't want to get
Nah,
with
I'm
you.
on
I
the
don't want to
same.
get you with Kenneth Wright. I just want to know if I remember the same guy, the same way as, or was I too butted then?
She said that, but you used to be girl. Listen, you used to be gone, boy,
Oh
gone.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, it was the first time that I was like talking, and I was very shy, and I was calling myself getting all the scariness, my nerves out, and a lot of times I thought I ate enough, but apparently I didn't.
Oh man, we used to have so much fun on Suge's channel back in the day.
Yeah, that was
Oh
fun.
man,
But I felt like I had my season of fun, and I needed to get serious and be productive, and because I have an analytical mind, and I'd like to research stuff, and I like to figure out what's bothering me, and that's where I had to go, and that's where I've been. So that's what I'm doing right now.
and that's what I'm trying to work on you about. You can have fun and be serious at the same time. Because I'm telling you, if you be serious so much, that shit can drive you crazy. And the reason why it could drive you crazy is because people's not gonna be on your same wavelength. People gonna do what they want to do, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's gonna drive you crazy when they're not following your lead.
I understand that, but see, I don't like people that are double minded or people that are flip floppers, and I don't want to be perceived as a flip flopper. So I'm very strong about my stance because I don't want anybody to ever say, oh, this person was talking this way a month ago. No, I was consistent a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whether I was butted, drunk, half asleep, whatever, I was always consistent. Be like, yeah, she was like that, but she was still saying the same shit she's saying right now. She ain't never changed. I ain't never changed.
That
I
is
can't
so true.
I can't stand people that, 1 month they talking about unity, the next month they talking about fuck you, and then the next month they're not sure. I'm like, what the fuck? What side are you on really? You don't know what to trust. You don't know what to believe. You know what's coming out of their
Oh
mouth.
shoot.
I don't like people that's like switching it up all the time. They giving me a headache when they do that shit. I'm
Oh
serious. I'll be
shoot.
like, damn, my mind is scrambled right
Oh
now.
shoot.
The
I
fuck?
can't.
That means you can't take people literal and serious. And I don't like talking to people like that. I want to talk to someone that's definitive in what they think and how they are. So I know what's up with you. I don't want you to like switch up on me and then I'm like, are you gonna wear a skirt next month? What's going on?
Oh shoot! I can't.
Bust out with some high heels with your mustache on and what the fuck?
Sister girl. See,
I
there
mean,
you
what the
go
heck?
again.
What the hecky? Hecky.
I can't take it. I just can't. Do
But
anybody
but
have any?
isn't that annoying though when you see people that flip flops all the time?
Yeah, and when you got people that flip flop like that, you definitely gotta watch them. You definitely gotta watch them because they'll be all over the place. They'll be with this person today, that person tomorrow, and then they'll say, "Well, I never said that," or they,
Example of a
you
flip
know, you
flopper
gotta watch
is
them.
Vex Vortex. Remember him, Lex Vortex? He's a flip
Yeah,
flopper.
I remember.
Famous flip flopper. Tariq Nasheed flip flopper. Who else? This dude Afrodamus, he's a flip flopper. 6 months ago, he told us we weren't African, and he was anti-Pan-African. Now all of a sudden he's Pan-African, and we're African. Like, dude, someone must have dropped him a big dollar bill, y'all. And
Maybe
now all of
he
a
did more
sudden,
research and changed his mind.
no, you 6 months ago you were anti Pan African, and you were saying there's no way we would ever be considered African in Africa because of all the years and all the races of blood that we have in our system, and you have a caste system in your country where you're from, and you guys live and die by that. All of a sudden now you forgot about that 6 months ago. I just don't respect that. But there's so many other examples of that, people that pretend to be righteous and then all of a sudden they become, I understand like being upset about how people move and stuff and have a opinion about a situation per se, but I'm saying your ideology as a whole should not be bendable. Like
But if
the way that you move and think as a whole, as a person, your spirit should not be bendable, or you're not a real person.
if they correct their wrong and say, you know what, I was wrong about that, so let me correct it, then it won't seem so, wishy washy.
But they don't do that.
But they don't
They
do
just
that.
go on about like they never said it.
Yep,
Like they never
exactly.
said nothing new.
Exactly.
And then when you argue with them on the fact that they did, they argue with and talking about, oh, that was years ago. That was last month.
Yeah, craziness. Well,
Yeah.
but you know, we've been up here since what, six something, I think.
Okay. I really appreciate
So
you having me on again, everybody, for showing up. Thanks,
thank you,
everybody.
everybody. Thank you so much. I gotta figure out how to get riches too. I probably can do it when I end the live stream, but I'll figure it out. But
Okay.
anyway, thank you, sis, so
All
much
right.
for
Call me
giving
tomorrow.
everybody this information. I will, because I gotta work tomorrow, so I'll call you when I get off.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave now.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye. Thank you everybody for coming through and showing me love. I really do appreciate everybody. And don't worry, I will be doing more live streams, and I will be trying to figure this stuff out as I go. So just bear with me in doing so. So until then, much love everybody. Peace, and I'm out.